you should already know what this video is about, just reading the title. So, for my boys who are experiencing this, I feel for you, man, 'cause I've been through this. So I'm just dive straight into it. But the main reason, if you're a young guy, shit, even older guys, the main reason, if you're experiencing like ED or having trouble getting hard, it's just probably just straight nervousness. Especially if you're like pretty inexperienced and you're just getting into having sex and you're wanting to get out there more. That's most likely your problem. You're probably extremely in your head, like while you're kissing her and like leading up to the build up. You're probably in your head the time like, damn, am I gonna be able to perform? Does she have more experience than me? Like you have all these crazy thoughts that are just, you're just occupied. Your brain's just got so much going on, and that's keeping you from getting hard. That's literally like your problem. The nervousness is preventing your penis from getting hard. That's all it is. And there's not much you can do about this besides just risking it and going for it. I mean, you can start practicing meditation and being mindful. And this sounds weird, but literally while you're about to have sex, like the build up and everything, just meditate and like just try to have no thoughts. Just have full breath and don't think. Just focus on the moment and experience the moment. And I promise, if you can do that, I promise you're gonna be rock solid. You're gonna be good to go. But from my experience, and it's happened to me a few times, like it was, especially when I was just getting into having sex, it happened to me a good bit. And I remember this girl I was getting, my first time ever, I thought I might have like a trouble. I was like worried about it. I didn't necessarily think I was gonna have ED, but I was like, in my head, like, man, I hope I can get hard, because I was so worried and everything. And then the girl I was with, she was just going to town, and I didn't have a problem that first time. Second time came around, it was with a different girl, and I'm living on my own this time. And I remember I'm laying in bed and everything, and we're about to get to it. Like it's my first time hanging out with her, and we're about to have sex. And I remember we were making out and everything, and I was good to go. Like I was fully solid. And then she told me she was on her period, and we need to wait till next time. I was like, all right, that's cool. But I was good to go, right? Next time we hung out, keep in mind I was really young at the time, and I was going through like a curiosity stage. Like I wanted to experiment. I was experimenting with drugs and stuff. And me and her, we were doing Molly. We did Molly together, and I threw it up. So I wasn't under the influence, but she was. And so the whole time I had this like just real negative feeling, like I was real tired, and she was like off the walls, bouncing around and shit. And she was obviously super horny because she was on ecstasy. I think until it does that, and she was wanting to get to it. She was telling me, she's like, "You want to have sex?" Like just being straight up, because like she's under the influence. And I was like, man, I'm not really trying to do that because I'm basically sober right now. And you get what I'm saying? Like I was like, it made me uncomfortable. Like I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to take advantage of you. And she was like pushing for it. So I was like, you know what, whatever. And got to it, started kissing and everything. Got to the time where I was about to put it in, and I was just straight flaccid, just nothing. Like I'm talking gummy worm, like flopping. And I was like, I'm sorry, it's just the situation we're in. You're rolling balls and I'm sober. It's uncomfortable for me, and I'm not trying to contribute to this, And she's like, yeah, it's cool. Everything, we just hung out. She was chill about it. Next time came around, we're about to do everything. First time after this, right? And just in my head, I'm like, man, I hope I can get hard this time. Like that whole experience just fucked me. Like I was done after that. It was over for me. And then this just became a stigma for me. It's like this next time I couldn't get hard. Same thing. I remember I was laying there, and I was like, man, maybe just suck me off a little, give me head. And I was like, it worked last time, maybe it'll work this time. So she went to it. She was going to town. Nothing. I'm talking just noodle up in her mouth, like nothing. I'm like shrimped up. I'm like, man. I remember I'm just laying there. I'm like, oh, please God, please let me get hard. Like I'm like praying. I'm like, dude, please let me get hard. And it's just all I'm thinking about. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not horny. I'm not worried about sex. So my head's like, man, I hope I can get hard. It's literally all I'm thinking about. And man, it gets to you. Like that's gonna prevent you from getting hard. If you're thinking about these things, you're not gonna get hard. And this happened with this girl so many times. We didn't even talk about nothing really. And that leads me to my next point. Like if you're nervous like this, and it happens if you're trying to just hook up with a girl and you can't get hard, find a girl who you're actually interested in, and build a relationship with her, and let her know what's going on, and be like, yeah, like I'm just a little nervous at first. Give me time to warm up to you, and I'll be good to go. Like just give me time to warm up to you. Take it slow, and we'll see how things go. And if you do that, it'll help a lot. That's actually what I ended up doing eventually later on down the road with a different girl, and I've been good since then. But Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Like that happened to me multiple times. Different girl, that same girl who I was talking about, who I ended up talking with or talking about it with, and like getting better and things. Same shit happened to her. Like we were about to my first time, and it was crazy because everything before, like she was kind of conservative. She didn't want to have sex early on in the relationship. So like to me, it was like that's chill because I'm not I'm really insecure and everything about all this shit. I'm like, man, what if I can't get hard? And I actually like this girl. So we're dating for a while and we'd be making out and shit. Just from making out, I'd be fucking, bro. I'm talking solid just because I like this girl so much. And if you actually build a connection with this girl, you're gonna actually like it's gonna be everything's gonna be more enjoyable, right? And you're gonna be much more into her, and you'll just be aroused easier. And you're gonna get hard. So I didn't have any thoughts about sex. I knew it wasn't gonna happen for a little bit. So, but just kissing her and just touching her, like she could put her leg on my leg, and I'm just talking, just fucking, boom, like immediate, just solid. And then eventually we get to this point, and me being retarded, I had been drinking. We're about to finally get to it for the first time. Nothing. And now this brings me to my next point. So if this does happen to you, right? I learned this from experience. Don't make it about you. Don't make it a big deal out of it. That's the key. Don't make a big deal out of it. Just act like it's, it's like, it's whatever. Just like, oh, shit, sorry. What can I do about it? Maybe make a joke out of it. Just don't be embarrassed. Don't make a huge situation. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't make a big deal out of it. Just kind of chill, relax. Be like, I'm sorry. Next time will be good. Make it happen next time. Whatever it is. Just be cool about it, and don't flip it on her. If you like are just terrified of the embarrassment, I'm not gonna. You can do it if you want to. Flip it on her. Just be like, yeah, it's not really into you like that. I'm sorry. If you can't handle the embarrassment, because I'll tell you, man. That's some of the most embarrassing, and like, man, it kills you whenever you're in that moment, because it's so, bro. You're just like, you feel like your manhood's just taken from you. You're laying there. You're like, bro, I'm not even a man. Like, I can't get hard for this chick. She's fucking sexy, and I'm just laying here soft. It's like, bro. But yeah, so I'm just saying, like, don't make a big deal out of it, and it'll blow over, right? And another problem you might be having, maybe this isn't your problem, but if you're watching too much porn or beating off too much, that's gonna be a big problem for you. Porn's very unrealistic. That's an unrealistic standard, especially if you don't have experience with sex and you're watching a shit ton of porn. Whenever you go to have your first experience, it's gonna be nothing what you're expecting. And not only that, when you're watching porn, you're literally turning yourself into a cuck. Like, you're training your brain to enjoy watching other people have sex. Instead of you actually having sex, you're watching other people and you're getting turned on by it and aroused by it. And so that's what you're going to be expecting whenever you're having sex. You're basically wanting to be a cuck at that point. You're watching other people have sex instead of you going to do it. So stop watching porn. And when you beat off a lot, you're just wasting your sexual energy. Whenever you don't, bro, you're going to be so horny. You're going to literally want to go out and talk to girls just to get to the point where you can't have sex. You're like, I need to have sex. That's basically what's going to happen if you stop beating off so much. So cut out porn and then stop beating off so much. And I'm telling you, that alone too will skyrocket your sex drive. I mentioned that story that we doing drugs and like that. I mentioned another story. I was drinking a lot. So drugs, alcohol, whatever the case. If you're you're doing these things a lot, or in the moment you're on something, that can like deteriorate blood flow, get you in a bad mental state. Like if you smoke a lot of weed, your mind races more, right? And you're gonna be a lot more focused on everything that's happening and be like a lot more self-aware. So if you are insecure at all, it's gonna make you think even more, and it's gonna your brain's just gonna spiral. So if you do have these problems, maybe try doing it sober, or alcohol can help. It can actually make you harder. I like to drink wine, but like don't overdo it. Don't get like fucked up where you're just like fucking stumbling around and like you're gonna probably have some problems if you do that. But another one is having an inactive lifestyle. So if you don't go to the gym at all, you don't run, you just sit at a computer all day, play video games, whatever it is. If you have a very inactive lifestyle or a shit diet, that can also be a problem too. People who move around a lot more, who work out a lot, their blood flows better. They're in better physical fitness. And not only that, so personally, I last a pretty long time, and I've been told that by girls. Like, it's like, damn, you get to it, and I've been told that it's probably because how like into fitness I am and how active I am and everything. Because whenever you're more fit, there's something about it. Like, you just last longer, and better blood flow, so you get stronger erections. If you're not doing shit, your blood flow is gonna be worse. Just everything. Your confidence is gonna be lower. I'm telling you, confidence is the main thing. Like, build up your confidence. And I made a video recently. It's called "No One Is Better Than You." If you want to watch it, you can go ahead and watch it. And it's a big deal with this too, because a lot of men, and this happened to me too, because I had low self-esteem whenever I was younger, especially whenever I was first starting to talk to girls and everything, and I was very insecure about myself. You're probably putting pretty girls on a pedestal, and you're probably thinking like, oh, she's out of my league. How am I about to have sex with her right now? Like, oh fuck, how did I do this? And you're worried about this girl, and that too can spiral you because like, damn, she's so much better than me. Like this, and you're fucking nerding out. Like you're looking like a fucking dweeb, and you're making yourself feel bad, literally negative self-talk, talking yourself out of it basically. And you're like, man, I don't belong here. That's really what you're doing, and that too can keep you from getting hard. It'll keep you soft. Be having a little gummy worm, and so just assume you're with her. She likes you. You're about to do this shit. She wants to do this shit. So you know what I'm saying? Don't talk down on yourself and get out of it, because bro, I can't explain to you how fucking pissed I'd be after that shit would happen. It's like you put in all the work. You meet the girl. Maybe go on a date, get her over somehow. You put in all this work to get to this point. That's what you want, right? You want sex. That's basically the whole point of dating. That's for men, right? Maybe you want a connection, but the whole point is you want sex. You get to the point where you just put in all this work, and you're about to do what you wanted to do. Like you're finally about to do what you fucking wanted to do, and you just can't perform. And now you're just stuck there, embarrassed. And it's like, bro, what the? Like, oh, it makes me pissed just thinking about it. Like it happened to me, I think, with two different girls, right? And thankfully, that's it so far. And I got lucky enough to get in that relationship that helped me get over it. But man, I'm telling you, that shit will eat at your mentality, and it makes you just feel so bad about yourself. But yeah, I'm saying, know what you like too. For me, I figured out with this girl, and actually I want to say this real quick too. I mentioned, if you can't get hard, like just play it off, like, it's not a big deal. Don't be embarrassed, don't make a big deal out of it. And if that does happen to you, obviously the girl's probably really horny too, right? And you're like, okay, you messed up her mood, now she's pissed. And if you actually like this girl, just go down on her, man. Make her come, and she'll be cool. She's not gonna care if you get up in there, right? She's not gonna care. She's still game, So quick side note, just go down on her if you can't get hard, and everything will be cool. I promise. Like the situation will just be over. It'll be like nothing happened. But anyway, what I was gonna say, know what you like, because with this girl I was just talking about, and I mentioned going down on them, I realized like we could be building up to all this stuff, and I'd be like solid, man. Like I'd be ready. I'm like horny as fuck. I'm ready to get up in there, and then I'm trying to get a little foreplay going. I'll go down there. I'm about to go down on her, and when I'm up down there, it's not my thing, and I'll realize like while I'm doing it, I'm not super into it. And I noticed a couple of times I'd go soft while I'm down there, and I'm like, bro, I'm finally about to get to it. And it goes away. I'm like, bro, now I gotta fucking restart. And I realize that's not my thing. Like, I'm just not really into that. So, know what you like, because there might be some shit that just turns you off. Like mid sex, like something might happen, and then it's gone. You can't really do anything. Then you're gonna be thinking about it again. Like, oh, it went away. How do I get it back? I gotta get it back before it's my time to go. And you start spiraling, and it's done. You're done for. So just figure out what you like too. If that happens to you, just be okay. I don't like that. Figure out what it is. So. But yeah, big thing you can do, I'm telling you, just practice meditating, just practice being mindful. Whenever you're in that situation, just try to really be in the moment and get out of your head. It's going to help you a shit ton. And stop watching porn, stop beating off. And if you really need to, find the girl you're actually into, That was the best thing that worked for me. And that's kind of the guy I am anyways. I don't really like the whole hookup thing. I do it every now and then, but like it's not my thing. I'm more actually like I want to be into the girl. So that might be you too, You got to figure out how you are, what you do. So do those things, and the only other thing I can really say is if none of these things work for you, I guess you could be gay, but if you're gay, you probably had your doubts, but that's probably not it. And if it's medical, if you're watching porn, you can do shit by yourself, you get hard by yourself. That's not the problem. It's not a medical thing. You're good at that. Maybe you have low testosterone, and you're super intimidated by girls. Like the idea of sex intimidates you. And I mean, that's fine. You just gotta get over it, take risks, and put yourself in the situation so you get over it. Right, testosterone. I made a video about how to raise your testosterone. You can go and look at that if you need to, but you probably don't have that problem if you're a young guy. But if you think you do, go get blood work done, get your testosterone levels taken. But I'm telling you, that's probably not the problem. Another thing I didn't mention is your self-image. So you might be thinking about yourself just super negatively. Like maybe you don't have, the biggest Johnson. Maybe your penis is kind of small, right? And that's whatever, man. That's what you are. That's how you were made. Get over it. Get over yourself. Don't worry about it, because again, you just gotta be mindful. Don't worry about it when you're in the moment. She's not gonna stop because of it, and it's really not as big of a deal as it's made to be on social media. So it's blown out of proportion. So don't worry about that shit. And another thing with your self-image, if you have a lack of experience, like maybe you're a virgin, and shit, maybe you're 20, maybe you're on the older side, and you just feel like this lack of experience is that's really just getting to you, and you're getting into a situation where you're about to have sex, and you're like, oh, she's about to be so much more experienced than me, and she's gonna be looking down on me like, oh, I'm 20, I've never had sex, and you're gonna be just spazzing out. And just don't let that happen to you. Like, sure, you're inexperienced, but the only way to get experience is to go into this confidently. Just go into it, get it done, and then now you build it up. Success is built on success. So like the more times you have a good experience or just a successful experience in general, it's gonna be better and better and better. So just, do your thing, figure it out, and you'll be good to go. That's pretty much all I have to say on this subject. If you follow this, you'll be good to go, right? I'm telling you, do these things that I mentioned, improve yourself in these areas, and you're gonna be solid. Literally, you're gonna be solid, right? No pun intended. But yeah, if you're interested in this kind of content, please subscribe. I make videos about self-improvement, how to improve myself, just life experiences in general, my experience with it. And man, I struggled pretty bad with this. Like, trust me, if you're going through it, I feel for you, man. Like, it's tough. It's really tough. Like, you'll be talking to yourself, like, man, do I really have ED? I convinced myself for a little bit, or I was trying to convince myself that I was asexual. I was like, I guess I knew I wasn't gay, but I was like, I guess I'm just not interested in anybody, right? And I was like, that's not the case. I'm interested in girls, right? I was like, I literally watch porn, or not anymore, back then. Cut that shit out, right? You gotta cut it out too. But I was watching porn, and I was like, clearly I'm into girls. And then I'd be walking down the street, and I'd see a girl on my trash, and damn, she's fucking hot. So clearly I'm not asexual. It was just me trying to cope with myself. And you should be the same way, or you shouldn't be that way. Don't talk down on yourself. Don't assume shit just because it's not working out. Do what works for you, and just keep trying. If you can't do it, if you keep having this problem, just keep trying. Don't let it get to you. I know it's embarrassing, but just like I said, don't make a big deal out of it. I promise, it's really not as bad. If you make a big deal out of it, it's gonna be so much worse than it actually is. So just keep it calm, play it cool, and they probably experienced it with some other guy before too. So it's really not a big deal. It's probably more common than you think, honestly, especially these days. So yeah. Anyways, this video helped you out. Leave a comment. Let me know. Like I said, I'm pretty passionate about it because, man, it was a struggle for me. But yeah, make shit happen, go out and do shit, See you in the next one.